Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday.
And
And happy
also
International Working Women's Day to you.
from two working broads, let me
Yep.
tell ya.
We have got a great show for you today. First, we're chatting with Stephanie Kimel, co-founder of Tulip and a canna-momma.
Love it.
I hate that term, by the way. Can I say that?
Can we make up a different one?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Weed woman?
I feel it's like the same as being like a boss babe for me. I just
Yeah,
don't like
canna
it. Yeah,
woman. We gotta put
like a how about like a lady toker?
a lady
A
toker.
mama toker or something.
Recently on a TikTok, I heard old people call going to the weed store. We gotta go to the dope store. And I was like, I love it. Let's bring it back old school.
What about like a dope mama? Because then
Yeah,
it has
I love that.
multiple meanings, or dope mom.
Stephanie, you're welcome. Anyway, then we were talking about women-dominated careers. Women-dominated?
Women,
Women-dominated careers.
I think.
I mean, listen, we couldn't figure out the
look,
math
guys.
of us in high school.
Guys, again, we didn't go into podcasting because we're intelligent.
Let me tell you that. Anyway, we're talking about women-dominated careers and the pay gap that just will not lighten up. Let me tell you, it's always there.
And as always, we have our hashtag swag bag. But up next, take it away, small child.
Can I go first?
Please.
I am a rhinoplasty influencer. Officially. It's what I've wanted my whole entire life.
How so?
I've had 3 different individuals reach out to me who listen to this show, who are in the tri-state area, who have asked me who my nose doctor was when I got my nose job.
That's amazing.
I am sliving, as Paris Hilton says. I am sliving for this.
You are so committed to trying to make sliving work.
A thing. I'm trying to make it a thing.
You are the Gretchen Wieners of sliving.
I don't even think it's that good, but it sticks. It just sticks.
It sounds so weird to me. It just makes me think of a snake for some reason.
I know, or like slimy living. Anyway.
Ugh.
So Dr. David Folk is my doctor in Montclair. He practices medicine in New Jersey and New York. Did a great job. You can barely see I got it done, and that's what I wanted. It's been a year, officially. Happy anniversary to my nose.
Happy anniversary to your schnoz.
What is the 1-year anniversary? Paper?
I think so.
I'll just blow my nose.
Just
with
shove some up there.
So that's my tits. My shits are my plays over, and I'm having all the feelings.
That's your shits?
Yeah,
I thought it was your tit.
Well, no, I'm sad that the play is over.
I thought it would be your tits. I'm surprised.
I mean, it's also my tits, but then as I was setting up the Zencaster, I got another email about my nose doctor, and I was like, okay, I'm officially an influencer now. That became my tits because I'm all about me, bitches. Okay, how about you?
Okay,
I'm drinking a kombucha, so I'll probably belch through the rest of the episode.
Great. That's what everybody wants. That's what the people
gut
want.
Health, you know.
My tits are, I don't know that I have shits. My tits are.
You haven't been having shits.
No, I feel like I'm in a pretty good place, to be completely honest.
I don't remember when you bragged to me and I wasn't paying attention.
Like, I was just like, okay, bitch.
I was like, my hands are vibrating.
Yeah, and I have to like watch video to edit, and I just saw my face be like, cool. Thanks for listening. We listen to you talk about yourself so highly all the time. The second I talk about how life is okay,
I was so sick that
day. It's a non-event for you. So my tits are, I went upstate for the week. Sebastian had the week off from school. We went upstate. We had a great time. He and I even had a little, like, I love a color me mine. Can I say that?
I do too. Maybe that's what we should do for my birthday.
It's good luck finding one. They're very difficult to find. There used to be, like, when I was a teenager, there was one in Hoboken, and my mom and I would go all the time, and we would paint like servingware that she still has in our house.
Ours was in their house. The Playground.
Oh, I like that name.
Yeah, it was an independent one, you know.
By my parents, I guess all those kids had off the last week too. So there's a place called the Studio of Art and Craft, I think is what it's called, in Stamford, New York. And they do like other classes too. So Sebastian and I did like a pottery throwing class. Then he and I went and got lunch. We had a ghost moment, which listen, you guys want to make it something pervy? That's on you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I love my kid.
You were even wearing the overalls. I was like,
wearing overalls. I wasn't going to get paint and clay on nice clothes. Of course I wear overalls by choice all the time anyway. So we did that, and then we like went and had a nice lunch at our haunted restaurant in Stanford.
I
I'm
saw
sorry, it
that
wasn't
too.
Stanford. It was in Cobleskill. My bad.
First of all, I'm mad you haven't taken me to that haunted restaurant. Like, how dare you?
Well, we were there for like a night,
I
and we
know,
were
but
filming something.
that's a high priority on my list. Oh,
I've been there multiple times, and I have not felt any activity, my friend.
I also was dying. Was that when I had COVID?
Yes.
Yes,
We
I
didn't
also
know.
had COVID.
And then we all got COVID. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying?
Your ghost moment,
Oh, yeah,
literally,
yeah.
and
And then we went back,
figuratively.
and he did like a canvas class, like where you pour the paint on the canvas and it kind of looks like the galaxy or whatever. And so I sat outside and did the Color Me Mine stuff. And I just had a great time. It was really lovely. It was nice spending time with my parents. I got a lot of time with my dad, which he works so much with the store and like running a business. I was able to get work done. It was just a good
Charlottesville
time.
General Store and Coffee, guys. Don't forget them.
I know.
Charlottesville Roasters.
CharlottesvilleGeneralStore.com if you want to buy that delicious, delicious coffee.
Very low acid. Very low acid.
Soon he'll be doing decaf.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Wow, look at you thriving. You might even say you're sliving.
I am sliving. I'm sliving.
I'm a Slytherin sliving. All right, next up, guys, Stephanie Kimel.
Today's guest is a canna-momma and co-founder, Today's guest is a canna-momma. We've already discussed we need to change this name. We are not into
we're not into that term. Just we think there's something sassier we can come up with.
Yeah, but we're working on it.
We're working on it. We like you. Yes.
He's also the co-founder of Tulip, which offers gorgeous storage solutions for your cannabis stash with a long history of being a chief product and merchandising officer for different companies. Welcome, Stephanie Kimel. Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Hello.
We are so happy to have you. Happy International Working Women's Day to you. Let's start off by you telling us all about Tulip.
Yeah, so we really think of ourselves as a storage brand, a modern storage brand that is dedicated to rethinking the way that we're interacting with herbs. So we've created a series of products that are delightfully discreet, odor-free, and for those that prefer, beautiful enough to put on display.
I do.
Yes.
Great.
And I have to tell you, they are truly odor-free. There was a night where Carrie and I went to a premiere of a film, and she had stuff in her purse.
Not in a good storage container.
Every time she opened it, it reeked. And I was like, stop opening your purse.
And I wasn't opening it to get herb. I was opening it to get like chapstick or whatever.
It was the stinkiest thing. I almost got you the smaller version of this for Christmas but then,
Well, now you don't have to.
It came in your Tulip set, one of the small pouches. So I
have it. Yes. So now I will not make that mistake again.
Great. So yeah, I mean, we describe ourselves as the new way to store your stash.
Yeah. And I was thinking the other day, it would even be like, because I like the soft but industrial kind of feel to it. I was like, I wish my jewelry box looked like this.
It can be a jewelry box if you want.
I know. It depends what kind of jewels you're talking about. What has been like feedback wise from it being out in the world? Like what has been your users' favorite aspects of the Tulip box?
I would say the number one feature, and there are many when you start to get into the box and see just how it works and functions, is
it's hard to pick just one.
The locking mechanism, I think, allows especially parents who consume cannabis to feel really secure about their stash, and little hands or teenage hands getting inside. Even we've heard about pets too. So I would say
I know my friend's Chihuahua got into her edibles and had to go to the doctor.
How is the Chihuahua getting into
ate through the backpack, which my little dog did for brownies one time. Like ate a hole into the backpack because it smelled so good.
That's a very Clementine move there.
I know, so you better watch out.
I have a little portly chihuahua who loves food more than anything. She would
Portly's the
definitely
right
try.
word.
Yeah, she would definitely try for some brownies. Anyway, back to the box.
I would say beyond the lock, and the jars and tubes are also secure, so they open much like a medicine
Yep.
bottle.
But sexier.
Much. But the second feature I would say is that the box works for whatever form you consume cannabis in. So we have slots for pen cartridges, tubes for flower and edible, or jars rather for flower and edibles, and then tubes for
Nice.
rolls. And then there's a hidden compartment for those who really like their stuff organized, to put all of like kind of the loose things like papers, a grinder, and it's airtight as well and odor controlling. So a bowl fits nicely in there. So I would say like the fact that depending on what type of cannabis you're consuming or what your routine is, that it can work for a lot of
It's
different.
versatile.
And it comes with a tray.
Yes.
And the tray doesn't have something ridiculous on it, because my old tray was like the most.
Mine was out of space, galactic-y shit.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
always ridiculous, and you're like, oh, what ridiculous thing is going to work the best? But now,
And it comes with the box comes with a marker.
Yes,
Nice.
a rewritable marker.
Yep.
So you can
so you
label
can mark what you're putting in what.
exactly.
It really is just so incredibly practical. And if I may take one moment to just talk about the bags.
It elevates the routine, and it makes it a ritual.
Does.
It really does.
I have it on display in my beautiful closet, / office, where I just like, that's my space. I have it out and beautiful there. And then like the bags, both the Weekender and what's the smaller one called?
It's the afternoon bag.
The Weekender and the afternoon bag, which I now have both, are so odor proof. And this is how you know, is if it's open just like this little bit right here,
you can smell
it like leaks out. If you close it all the way, you're not smelling anything out of this bag. It's incredible. I don't know what kind of technology this is. It feels like Harry Potter magic, but
technology.
God bless it. Like,
I would be remiss to say that our third co-founder and our first employee, Celia, is a wonderfully talented product developer, and she really got down to the details of making these products perfection.
They really are.
I thought you were going to be like, she's an alien, and that's why she knows the technology.
She's very bright and very detail oriented, and we spent a lot of time perfecting these products. So we're really, really excited about our first launch, and
we should do
supporting us.
We should do a collaboration with Kibu Bags, because you know how they made that first aid zip pouch. The afternoon little bag fits exactly into the Kibu. We could do a whole well-designed like mashup. That would be really good.
Yeah. Right.
So I feel like, okay, so first of all, tell us like how Tulip started. How did you get the idea for the brand? Give us like your origin story of Tulip.
Sure. So, the idea, I really, credit goes to my father-in-law. He's a 72-year-old Woodstock attendee who did not spend his career in cannabis, but is a cannabis enthusiast. Mm-hmm. And he was really looking for a better way to store his goods, really from a preservation perspective. He was using mason jars, and those are actually great from—
I was going to say, that's what I was using for flour.
Yeah. So it's great from an airtight perspective. However, you really don't want like harmful UV rays coming into— it dries out your flour.
Also, it doesn't really fit in a purse easily. I've tried.
It doesn't fit into a purse easily, and
kids seeing it.
So, he was just looking for a personal new way to store his goods. He wasn't really looking to start a business. But it really got me thinking, and my husband too, this is very much a family affair, that there really is, it was as the rise of the cannabis industry and these beautiful dispensaries opening in legal states, there was really kind of like a mismatched experience when you would go into these dispensaries, feel great about loading up on your product and bringing it home and storing it in plastic baggies, shoebox, or really, some more creative makeshift ways that
I had an Elmo lunchbox I was keeping.
everybody has
Not great for kids.
everybody has a story. So, we felt like there was a real hole in the market, and we got to work on building our first product set.
So I feel like weed has become more quote unquote mainstream in like the last 10 years. I personally, I felt like we started to see people turning to it more on TV with shows like Broad City. That was like the
Or
first
high
time.
maintenance.
Yeah, that was like the first time where it wasn't like just like ooh like the rebels smoke weed. It was just like anyone and
Gotta
everyone.
get my dope fix.
Exactly. Like parents smoke weed, just like normal everyday people. So fast forward to
like your father-in-law.
right. So you fast forward to today, where I personally know more and more women getting into the weed industry, not just smoking it and partaking, but like actually making this part of their
deliverables, stock
career.
options.
Yeah. So can you tell us what you're noticing about the industry as a woman who's in it?
Yeah. So, the industry is really exciting for women and for everyone involved. And as far as the industry goes, I think that it's really exciting to be a part of because everybody's sort of working together to forge forward and pave the path for the destigmatization, supporting one another as states become recreational. It's a very supportive industry. And I think with everybody's power in working together, change has been able to be made and really well received. So it's really an exciting time for everyone in the industry and for people who just consume. It's been really exciting and overall positive. And I know we'll get to it, but there's obviously still a ton of social injustices surrounding cannabis and those who are, wrongfully incarcerated and so on. So we're really lucky to even be having this conversation and being able to start a business. But yeah, it's been super exciting. And I would say everybody's supporting the mission together.
Speaking of,
go ahead, Ash.
Speaking of just people being really excited about where this industry is going, my uncle has been a16er since before I was even born. I was telling him that it was legal here, recreationally in New Jersey, and he about a month ago went to his first recreational dispensary, a really nice one here in Rochelle Park called Ascend, I think.
Yeah.
And he texted me after and said, I walked in there and I cried and I asked if I could work there. So, and this is a guy who's like stoned most of the day type of thing. So for him, it's like such a joy that it's legal. It's not something you hide. You don't have to find some random bodega to go into and buy stuff. Like you can go into a store and make informed choices and like really choose what you're consuming and how.
And I would just like to say, being at International Working Women's Day, my first stock, like I had stock given to me when I was born, but the very first stock I ever bought myself was a female-owned cannabis growing company.
Oh.
And I was like, it's a new day, it's a new dawn. I had been reading an article about the cannabis industry and the legalization across the states, and they were highlighting two specific female-run growers that had stock that you could purchase. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And I feel so happy that this is a space that, one, is legal for so many states, and two, that is a place that women are really kind of changing a lot of the way that we look at it. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that. Okay, so hold on, I just lost my trade. Okay, so weed has become a popular stress reliever, and sometimes more, and something that more and more women and moms are turning to deal with anxiety, PMS periods, and general motherhood. My therapist actually told me to get my medical license to deal with my postpartum and some of my anxiety instead of depending on rescue anxiety over, prescription medications. A recent Harris poll found that over the pandemic, of parents who already had tried marijuana, 52% increased their consumption compared to 33% of child free adults. And over half, 57% of parents who have ever consumed cannabis reported that their use of marijuana replaced or reduced their alcohol consumption. It's legal in a number of states, but it is so stigmatized, especially for mothers. So as an insider in the industry, can you tell us like what you're seeing in regards to this and maybe how the trend is moving and changing?
Sure.
And the fact my therapist recommended it
yeah,
is one of the ways that it's changing.
right, exactly. So to answer your question, I'll first start and talk about my relationship with cannabis, which is, I use it for stress relief and mostly anxiety relief. And I've found that it has really, really helped. And my alternative wasn't necessarily alcohol, which I know that some people have made the switch, but really more like anti-anxiety medications. And I would much prefer to use a plant rather than a prescription drug
Right.
with anxiety.
Yeah, I don't use my Xannies anymore. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
So it really has helped. And it's honestly so empowering to know that I can use something more natural to help, and that I'm getting the help that I need to be able to be present and relaxed when dealing with children and all the stresses of the day and what's going on in the world by something that feels so wonderful to use.
I am a yoga and meditation teacher, and one of the big tenets is to the way to not have anxiety. Anxiety lives in the future and depression lives in the past. So to be in the present moment is really the only way to free yourself from those two not so great modalities, right? And so what I have found is the more anxious or depressed that I feel, the further away from my child I feel. And because children are just nonstop living in the present moment kind of beings, that when I use, weed as opposed to, say, alcohol or even my prescription anxiety medication, what it does differently is marijuana puts me in the present moment. I'm appreciative of the small things. I slow down a little bit. I am more in so many amazing ways on the same level of my child. I'm willing to get down on the floor and be in the present moment and play with them instead of being like, I'm too busy, I'm anxious, I've got things to do. And it really, Ashley and I've talked about it privately and not on the show, and only recently have felt more empowered to be able to speak about it on the show. But I'm a better mother a lot of the time and a better parent when I am like a little bit microdosed on, on marijuana. I just am. I'm not worried that the dishes aren't going to get done. I'm there in the present moment playing with my child. I'm not nitpicking my husband about every little thing. I'm seeing a larger scope of being in the present moment.
Yeah, totally. And so as far as to more directly answer your question, the industry and a mom who uses cannabis, I feel like there's been, like I said before, it's really just been like a joint effort in the industry.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I would say, as far as, and we're getting gender specific, so I'm just going to go there, but the health and wellness and beauty industry, I think, have really helped destigmatize. So, you know, coming at it from that perspective and using CBD products and so on, I think helped.
It was like a good soft launch.
I understand what you're saying. I didn't understand the connection there, but now I see it, just like CBD products kind of being in every, like, so many different lines offering a CBD this, that, or the other.
Yeah, totally. And then I think it's, you know, the industry, the women in the industry, and then just sort of like taking it offline in groups of friends. I've just noticed that, you know, once you sort of have that conversation and talk about what you're doing and using and partaking in, it becomes more normalized within your group of friends and so on. Of course, it depends on where you live and who you are, and I recognize that you know, I have privilege in this area, but yeah, I think there's a whole host of factors that are forging forward and helping to destigmatize. Absolutely.
Yep.
So, speaking of destigmatization, do you think that now that there are beautiful products, you know, we've gone away from like these ugly black bags and Ziploc baggies and mason jars. Now that beautiful products exist like Tulip, that's helping in the destigmatization of cannabis?
That's the hope. I mean, that is literally one of the foundations of our brand. So, even starting with the name Tulip, you know, we loved that name because it is a type of joint roll, actually, if you really want to get
Oh,
technical.
really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Huh.
And it's the flower of Amsterdam, but otherwise, you know, a tulip is something beautiful that you want to put on display.
Mm.
We specifically made the exterior of our box look, you know, it's reminiscent of barware, and the hope is that people will leave it on display and put it out in their homes and it be a part of their, you know,
Decor.
entertainment, just like you would put alcohol bottles out or beautiful decanters. So that's where that fluting comes from, and you know, the pops of color that, you know, we want this product to just make people smile and something that they want to share with friends, and for them to unwind at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, whatever it may be. So yes, I think, and we're very much trying to be a part of that mission where these beautiful products are helping to destigmatize. And we're an ancillary product, a storage company, but you know, there are beautiful pieces now that brands are making, and you know, even papers. And
I have these beautiful flower papers in these. They're like,
Have
I'll
my
show
gold
you.
papers.
Hold on, I'll show you. Go ahead, keep talking.
yeah, so there are countless brands out there that are making beautiful products surrounding, you know, weed itself. And
Or even like the Levo brand or
yeah,
Levo, that beautiful. You could keep that on your counter. No one would know that that was like a infusing.
There's
right. And the funny part is that so many of these brands are women owned and run, and that's so exciting. And I will say that everyone wants to make space for everyone else because it's just such an exciting time in the industry.
Look how pretty my little green
Yeah,
rolling
I was gonna say, it's
papers.
so nice to walk into like a dispensary and that, what is Flowers by what, Edie Parker or
Yeah.
something,
Mhm.
and the Miss Grass, you know. And I walked into the dispensary recently and there was like this beautiful banana.
Oh, I saw that. I love that. It's like very
Yeah,
Warhol.
a banana bowl, I think by Flower by Edie Parker, and these beautiful things that like are definitely, I think, aimed towards women just in how beautiful they were. And it used to be you had to like get anything like that, you had to walk into a head shop on like
And
Sixth
it had like
Avenue.
wavy gravy on it or like a
Yeah, totally.
skull.
And it was all like very Jerry Garcia tie-dye, plain black, like nothing felt like it was reflective of a different audience who was partaking in this. So
Totally.
We can't have this conversation without addressing that there's obviously a social justice issue, like you mentioned at the top. When it comes to weed, many BIPOC folks have and still are incarcerated for this. And it's now legal in many states. And you have built a business sort of ancillarily around it. How are you positioning your business to keep and balance some of these injustices?
Right. So when we launched our business, we found it really important to be a part of that mission. So the goal is to amplify organizations fighting to end fundamental injustices that still exist today. And the first one that we're partnering with is the Last Prisoners Project. So it's a nonprofit organization dedicated to criminal justice reform. So, like you said, as the US is moving away from decriminalization of certain rituals and giving rise to this industry, there remains this fundamental injustice inflicted upon those who have suffered criminal convictions for the consequences of those convictions. So, the way that we're amplifying that organization is through financial contributions, but even more so is using our platform to educate our customers and followers about how this still exists today, as we're all kind of enjoying the rise
Reaping
of
the benefits.
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just shedding light on this and giving people the opportunity to learn about, speak about, and have conversations around what's going on, but also help and get involved. So we'll use our platforms to engage with our audience on this and bring awareness to this specific organization now and additional organizations in the future.
do you, before we kind of like move on to this mom question, do you have any other observations about being a woman in weed? Something that, you wish more people knew or were aware of, or just anything like that?
Speaking for all women everywhere, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
kidding. No pressure. No, we're just joking.
And if you don't, that's okay. I just want to make sure that you've had space to say everything about like your brand and being in cannabis and being a woman who runs a business. Like, I just want to make sure you have had the ability to cover all your bases.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like I said, I feel like I have the privilege and the platform to be open about it and feel very confident about what my rituals are. And I hope that Tulip forges the path for people to become more comfortable with using cannabis, whether they're a woman or a mom or a person of color and so on. But I do, outside of the social injustice conversation that we've had, I was surprised to hear the other day, someone that I know shared on Instagram, a post about Tulip just supporting our business and maybe like a meme or two about it being like 5 o'clock and time to, partake in her ritual, which was a nod to cannabis and not wine. And the private school that her kids go to and that she volunteers at asked her to step down from her role there in representing the school. And she just was so blown away. She's in a legal state, and the school had a gala a few weeks prior that had a bourbon bar, and often moms are posting about wine o'clock and all of these things. And she just really couldn't believe that that's where we are today.
Yeah.
So, like I said, again, outside of the social injustices and she being able to freely use and so on, she really encountered something that I was, this is still going on. It is stigmatized. This is something that we're going to have to continue to fight for, especially as moms and women.
I mean, we've had this show for, we're in our third year, and this has been a ritual, because I really like that term, that's been part of my life for way longer than the show has. And I have not felt comfortable talking about it on the show, despite living in New Jersey where it is legal. I have not felt comfortable talking about it because I'm a mother, and I just, I don't know what kind of I've heard stories about people calling CPS on women on TikTok who talk about openly, that are mothers, that are openly admitting to partaking in this. And the fact that
we're sending a really mixed message, because we're saying people can profit off the sale of it and yet being penalized for the use of it. It's quite a mixed message, as always,
which has been a mixed message,
going to the right, and also going always towards the side of money towards the state and the government, anyway.
Yeah. So I find that, hopefully we have more to go. We have ways to go before this is kind of like normalized. I think especially, and again, I think making that distinction as mothers, we have a ways to go, but hopefully more and more mothers will speak out and say things, and it will become more normalized in that. So on that note, we ask all of our parents this: what is the number one thing that you think every parent should outsource if they have the means to do so?
What's an example?
Some people say house cleaning. Some people say raising their children. Some people say cooking. Stuff like that. One person said putting in a car seat into your car. Another person, what were some other ridiculous ones? We had another weird one recently that I thought was funny.
Someone who goes through and archives your kids' stuff to get rid of it because they can't bear
memory box stuff.
They can't bear to get rid of anything of their children's. There's all different ones. Food, cleaning, what else?
I think that I'm going to have a very sort of diplomatic answer to this, but I actually think if someone's looking for advice on this topic, this is very realistic and practical, in that every facet of, unless there's an area that you're really not great at, or you truly like to relinquish control. But I would say as a mom, I like to be involved in every area of my kid's life. And I, like most women and mothers, want to be able to do it all, but really know that we can't sometimes, and that's okay. So as far as outsourcing, I would just say to either say yes to help whenever you can get it, whether it's, having someone cook a meal for you, or help take your kids, or drive them somewhere, or archive, like you were saying, old art projects and new clothes and the old sizes that don't fit and so on. Asking for help and accepting help whenever you can get it. It feels like the right mix of being able to do it all when you can, but not do it all the time, or else we know how that is going to end up.
Yep.
I also sometimes find it super liberating myself, and I've heard other people say that it's been inspiring to see this, is sometimes I'll just blanketly be like, hey, Facebook universe, I'm struggling with this. Anybody can help? And it's surprising to outwardly, without shame, say, I need help. Can anyone help? That's not something women do very often.
Right. That's
We're just nope, we can do it. We can do it, and we can, but at what cost?
Totally. That's the message I'm trying to portray.
Yeah.
More succinctly.
Oh, no.
There's that Aries season.
Let me just tell you, I am never succinct. So thank you for that.
All right.
Please plug yourself, plug all the things, whatever you want to get out there. Please go ahead and do so.
Oh my goodness.
Tell the people where they can find everything and buy and shop.
Okay, so if you're looking to upgrade your storage solution, shoptulip.com is where to find us. I believe we're sharing a discount code with your followers.
That's so lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. What was it? Do you remember what that code was?
Momtourage 10.
Got
Great.
it.
And Pick Tulip are our Instagram and TikTok channel. So please follow us. We love to have a two-way dialogue with our followers and spark really interesting conversation. So join us there to participate. And we hope that those who do purchase their tulip enjoy every aspect of it. Our products were meticulously researched and co-created.
You can tell.
Yeah, you can absolutely tell.
We worked with, people who use cannabis, us and thousands of others. We actually ran a survey to get really detailed about the amount of product that would fit in this box and the different forms.
If you need testers, let us know.
Our products work really thoughtfully together so that you can store based on your own routine. This is not a one size fits.
No, it's like Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Yeah, kind of.
Exactly. And our products are, for design heads and deadheads alike. It really spans across a really wide demographic.
It does.
We talked about this a bunch. It's like, it can work for anyone, 21 to 99. And we hope that our product brings a bit of ease to your routine and your day and just makes your ritual feel more like a ritual.
I love deadhead to design head. That should be your tagline. I think that is just great marketing.
Yeah.
The other thing,
that's authentically us. So
yes,
my father-in-law is the deadhead, I'm the design head, and
you meet in between.
Exactly. So we love that this can work for most people.
It's funny when you were saying that, you love to speak one-on-one with people on Instagram about stuff. I was like, how many super stoned people do you get writing you on Instagram? Because I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? Obviously after my kid goes to sleep, but I'm just always like, that would be really funny. Anyway, that was just my thought.
So really quick thank you very much for everything. Thanks for joining us, for chatting with us. Happy International Working Women's Day to you.
Thank you for being a boss bitch.
Yeah. And everyone go check out shoptulip.com. Again, code Momtourage does not encourage illegal activity and would like to remind its readers that marijuana usage continues to be an offense under federal law, regardless of state marijuana laws. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical or mental health condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have read in this article. And I want to get
something that we have said, because we are not professional.
We're not experts.
We are professional talkers. That's what we are.
And you know what professional talkers do? They talk out of their ass.
It's true. Okay, guys. So, we've done this show for a while now and it feels like longer. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that because we had the other show before this every year. What?
Also, I just wanted to add in, and also, I've realized I have lost all sense of what happened in 2021. I literally cannot remember one thing that happened in 20. No, it's not good. It was because of the pandemic. I know,
that's what I'm saying. There's nothing worth remembering.
Right, because I was home the whole time. I don't remember anything. So truly, it has felt, and we started this at the beginning, right before the pandemic started, we started Momtourage. So I literally have no concept of time when it comes to Momtourage.
It's like when people say, oh, having a baby, it's the longest, shortest time. That's what this is. That's what this is.
This was worse.
Yes.
And I don't mean that in a disparaging way about the podcast. Obviously, I love it, but
Anyway, so we've had International Women's Day, like for a long time, we've been like, what's the segment we're going to do? Working women, what are we going to do? And every time we're like, oh, she's a momtrepreneur. How many times have we had that? So for one, we were so excited to have a momtrepreneur of a different variety with Stephanie. That was like so exciting to get a more modern twist to it, which I love. But
also, can I say something? Am I interrupting? Do you want to finish your thought and then I'll say it?
I want to be interrupted like I interrupt you. I want to see it and feel
also, I want to give all you momtrepreneurs a piece of advice. No, truly.
Okay.
Truly. And this is from somebody.
Calling yourself a momtrepreneur.
Yes. This is from somebody who gets all of our pitches, who like handles booking our show. That is me. And I just want to put this out into the world. When it comes to Momtourage, don't pitch yourself as a momtrepreneur, please. Find a different spin to it, because look, the She Pivots podcast, it's probably perfect for them. Any podcast that's about like women also working and being moms, like, great. Pitch yourself. I just want you to know you're not going to stand out with that.
Honestly,
pitch.
You know what pitch would be good? If you like shat yourself at a public event with your child.
For us,
we'll have you on. We'll have you on.
Right. Something about like, you're failing, but you're doing it fabulously. I don't know. Anything that
you're failing and you don't care. That would also be a good one.
Anything that is a different spin. And I would suggest this for anything you're pitching. Just stop with the momtrepreneur, because let me tell you, every mom, I want to help people. Every mom out
Maybe
there.
This is a new segment. Professional advice with Ashley.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Okay, let's a new segment.
Please, for your pitches, I want to see you all succeed. I want to see myself fucking succeed also, okay? Do not pitch yourself as a momtrepreneur. That's my angry rant. Who's the guy who rants all the time? Lewis Black? Yeah. That was my Lewis Black moment. Continue on with our segment.
True story. My friend slept with Lewis Black.
Disgusting. I don't want to know. I just feel like it was like shaky.
He's very tender, evidently. He's not like his real persona. His TV. He's very tender.
He's also very sad. He just strikes me as a very sad man.
It reads as more deep in real life than sad. Anyway, I digress. We've really gone off the rails here. Okay. So I was
cut out the Lewis Black part, I guess.
Or don't.
I don't know.
He was good in bed, evidently.
We're hyped.
It wasn't me. Okay, so I've had so much caffeine already. Okay.
Me too.
So I was just curious, what careers now in 2023 are the ones that are most dominated by women? And that kind of took me down a weird rabbit hole here. So this is a twofold little segment. One is like the careers that are female dominated. Then the pay gap between men in those same careers, how much money they make, and the women who are dominating that career, how much they make. And then a little thing on how you can get women to stay in the workplace in this day and age.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so here we go. Careers that are female dominated. Dental hygienist. I don't think
I've ever seen a male dental hygienist, to be honest with
you.
And
I don't want a man anywhere inside my mouth.
But haven't all your dentists been male?
Never. Yeah. Not dental hygienists have all been female.
Right.
Yeah.
But your dentists have been male.
No, I've had both.
Actually, I had one female dentist and I didn't like her. Oh, I hate that I said that. Delete that. Edit that out. But it's true.
Okay. So 93.1 of the percentage, that's of women in the dental hygiene career. Now, the pay gap is women make $5,512 less than men.
Crazy.
Okay. This was fascinating to me.
This is fascinating.
Because you know what? I'm not into numbers. So I usually, when I read that, I just blur it out of my mind. It's just like gobbledygook.
Same, honestly.
So this was like, ooh, numbers are interesting. Ooh. Okay. Speech language pathologists. Again, all the speech language pathologists I know are women. And that's because, I forgot to put the percentage in there. I accidentally erased it. It's in the 90-something percentage.
Okay.
And I forgot that
part. Momtourage. Where we have the numbers to back it up.
Momtourage in the 90s. Sloppy seconds. And the pay gap is $4,544 less than men. Spoiler alert, men always make more than women. That's the spoiler alert of this story. This is just making me think back to the time I had an argument with somebody married into a family who said that if women want to make as much as men, they should work as hard. Nutritionists. Now, I have known some male nutritionists. 84.2% of nutritionists are women. It's so hard for me to talk about numbers. And listen to this, $10,278 less they make than men.
Huh.
It's getting worse, guys, getting worse. Social services manager, 79.4% of them are women. And the pay gap, not so bad here, 1,730.
Oh, yeah, that's doable. We're
Not
getting
too
into
bad.
more doable numbers a little bit.
It gets worse again. Okay, optician, 77.8%. Opticians are women. Pay gap is $3,808.
I don't think I've ever been to a female. Is an optician the same thing as an ophthalmologist?
No, I believe an ophthalmologist is the doctor of it, and the optician is not.
Okay.
Like social worker versus psychologist.
Got it.
Or psychiatrist.
Nutritionist versus
Also,
dietitian.
Eve, if we're being dumb again, guys, just so you know, Eve, our editor, sometimes sends us a text that's like, guys, you were super dumb and I'm not really sure how to edit that out. She's like, the other day, she was like, I was editing the other podcast that you were on that I edit, and you made it. I just want to tell you, you were wrong with your analogy. It's totally wrong. So I'm not going to edit it out, but just don't say it anymore. Okay. Thanks, Eve, for holding us
You got to
together.
tell me more about that later. What analogy that was.
Okay. Chronic disease epidemiologists. Now, let me tell you, they're in hot commodity right now. I'll tell you that much. 75.4% are women. The pay gap, 1,526. I mean, getting better, but still, why even have one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Healthcare administrator. I've only seen women in that career. That's 75% are women, and the pay gap is $1,464. All right. Human resource manager. One of my least favorite people to see ever.
Danny.
I know. I don't like them. I mean, I like Danny.
Well, you like Danny, but yeah.
Just usually when you go to one of them, you're like, what am I have to do now? Anyway, 70.3% are women. They're always like, sign this, do this. I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of that.
Danny's job is a lot more complex than that, but yeah.
Danny, I love you. $4,864 as a pay gap. Now, here we go. Ready? Urologist.
I have a dumb question. Ready for it?
Is it only for penises?
Yes.
No, because Luna has, it's anybody that has a bladder.
And anybody who has a urethra, I guess.
Right.
Okay, got it. Thank you for knowing my question before I asked it.
Because I was like, no, proctologist is the man one. Urologist is just anyone who pees.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, 69.5% are women. But listen.
Wow. That's embarrassing.
$455 pay. That's a whole salary for people.
Yeah, that's truly embarrassing.
For a doctor.
Not to mention, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, not only is there's this pay gap, but we pay more for things. We are taxed more on things. Whatever.
Anyway, that was fascinating.
Down with the patriarchy.
Okay, so the next thing is, how can companies create an environment to retain women workers? Because during the pandemic, we lost a lot of female workers for so many reasons. We've talked about it before. Kids not in schools, childcare issues. The woman was the one that tended to be the one that had to leave the workforce to take care of all that. Now, again, we're speaking in generalities. I know that wasn't the case for everybody, but we are a mom podcast, so shut up. Okay, so McKinsey has found that companies with more than 30% female executives tended to outperform companies with 10% to 30% of leaders. And those companies outperform companies with few to no women executives. So one, it's good business to hire a woman. Okay. Women leaders are more likely than their senior male. There we go. Women leaders are more likely than their senior male counterparts to take public stands on gender, racial equality at work, and are more likely to mentor and sponsor other women, particularly women of color, and more committed to advocating for employee-friendly policies and programs that can help attract and retain other women for the long haul.
I'm almost offended they even felt the need to put this in there, because, like, this is a big old duh. You know what I mean?
It's because I think men think that women are catty to other women. That's why I think they put it in there. When really this is saying sort of shine theory that women are trying to help each other break the glass ceiling.
Huh.
I think that's why they put it in there. Because like, oh, women are catty. They hate each other. Ooh, we can never have a woman president because she's going to be on her period. First of all, any woman that's going to be president will be in menopause, just so you know. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay?
I mean, unless it's AOC sometime soon.
Right. Although the stress could bring her into early. I don't want that for you, AOC. But okay. Although salary continues to be the main driver that pushes workers out the door, for workers who plan to stay with their current employer, salaries are only sixth in the list of factors keeping them in their current positions. More important factors for the workers are feeling happy and stable in their current position and being satisfied with their work-life balance. Now, that's a 2023 number, and I think that changed over the pandemic. I think during the pandemic, people realized that they didn't need to be at their jobs to be at their jobs, and they realized the work-life balance was more important. Okay, so here are some things real quickly that can help you retain female workers. One, and I'm just going to say this
childcare.
Yeah, this one, but I'm going to say like maybe all workers because this should be for everybody. But provide flexible work arrangements. Flexibility at work is key for women who are often balancing caregiving responsibilities, childcare obligations, and other commitments outside of work. So just like offering a wider range of options on flexible scheduling, permanent remote work, or like part-time remote or whatever it is, it makes a big difference in 2023 and retaining women. Promote work-life balance. So in addition to providing flexible work options, employers should encourage workers to prioritize their well-being and work-life balance. And they're just saying that women tend to be burned out way more than men. No shit, because then we're also come home and we're at work, basically. The report says that 1 in 3 women have considered downshifting their career or leaving the workforce just this year, compared with 1 in 4 that was before the pandemic. And go ahead.
Nope, you finished the thought.
And additionally, 4 in 10 women, which is almost half, guys, that's math for you.
It's more than half.
4 in 10? No, it isn't.
It's less than half. Is what
right.
I
just said it's almost half. It's less than half. Math, guys. Wow, this is the episode where Carrie and Ashley are just shown as the dumbest.
Again, we mentioned that Barbie from our childhood. Math is hard.
Additionally, 4 in 10 women have considered leaving their company or switching jobs altogether.
Yeah. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Because I shamed you.
No, you didn't at all. I cut you off. Remember, I cut you off. Oh, that I was going to say that, I've had a reality show concept that I've been trying to pitch for quite some time. Carrie knows. We've been trying to pitch it together now.
So anybody out there that could help that, slip into our DMs.
Yeah, it's essentially about moms who work in the capacity that Carrie and I do. And I got to tell you, the numbers for putting together that pitch deck, I think that's something that happened in 2021 was, I guess I was putting together that pitch deck, but the numbers were that about a little shy of 2 million women had left the workforce because of the pandemic at that point.
I think it's gotten numbers worse. To be worse. I mean, or bigger, yeah.
Yeah, that is quite.
Worse means bigger, and statement. Better means less. Math.
I mean, that's a big statement.
I know. And then,
listen, I also want to say, just because you're not good at math does not mean you're not smart.
That's true. I'm street smart.
I just want to put that out there.
I'm smart enough to know I have to use a calculator. That's how smart
exactly.
I am.
Exactly. I'm smart enough
to know. I still finger count like a lot.
I can tip 20% perfectly fine.
Me
okay,
too.
Thank
Me
you.
too. I can always be like, good tip, bad tip, right there. Restaurant math.
Yep.
Okay. I can also split a check really easily in my head. I don't know.
That I cannot do.
Anyway, invest in reskilling and professional development. So it's no secret that women are often underrepresented in leadership positions, which can be a major barrier in advancement for women across all industries. So when women don't see adequate opportunity for upward mobility and growth, more often than not, they'll look somewhere else rather than try to grow and move up in the company or position that they have.
Makes sense. Why would you want to be stagnant at a position? We're all trying to accomplish the same thing when we have a career, right? Which is to continue moving upward.
But
so why should women have to settle with a lack of upward trajectory when men don't?
The other thing that was not mentioned in this, but they sort of danced around it, is that because of lack of trajectory and growth, and because of maybe gaps in employment due to having a child or issues with childcare, that women aren't really able to stay at one job or one place for as long as, say, men are. And that kind of thing often is what makes, you going up the ladder is staying at a company for a longer period of time. So it's like the cards are stacked against us in a lot of different ways.
And again, if you consider women who have a child and all the penalizations, is it penalties?
Yeah.
All the penalties. Oh my God. My brain is like, it's like I was doing fucking whippets for the past week.
Just that upstate air. It's like a whippets for the brain.
Fresh air, that fresh East Palestine air just wafted on over to the East Coast.
Wonder how that.
Jesus. And again, I forgot my fucking thought. Oh, if once again you have to consider the fact that how women are penalized for having children.
Having child.
I know. I'm telling you, like something's wrong with me.
Ashley went to go see
Your
the play.
play made me dumber, okay?
Well, it's supposed to be trippy, so maybe it was Alice in Wonderland. You're like ate the mushroom.
I'm sweating. I can't speak. I'm dumb. I'm just dumb today on International Working Women's Day.
Dumb.
Yeah, you have to also consider the penalties that women face for having children in terms of for a long time, people would just assume that women were planning on having children and not give them certain positions because of it.
And if you mention your child in your interview, you could not get the job.
Maternity leave,
or lack thereof.
Right. Breast pumping at work. Like, there are so many, excuse me, and even the women that do take a certain
Sexual
number
harassment.
of years.
We mentioned it on the 101 podcast, like the Me Too movement too, like that hasn't helped.
Well, we can't really speak to that for all industries. We can just say for Hollywood.
Right.
But, it's you interrupted me and I lost my train of thought fucking again. God damn it. What was it?
All the ways women are penalized.
Oh, that sometimes women like take off a couple of years until their kids are old enough to start school. And there's this huge gap on their resume that is always pretty much held against, not always, but in a lot of instances held against women. So, there's a lot of penalties for just existing as a woman, which, we're preaching to the choir here.
It's true. It's true.
Okay, so this week, our hashtag swag bag is Stephanie's brand Tulip, which is so beautiful. I feel like I need to put this in here just in case we don't get to it in the interview selection. I was watching TikTok pre-Christmas and I saw some video about the box that Carrie is holding, that beautiful.
I'm going to open it up in a second and all my weed's going to fall out.
It's called the Tulip set. What did you get? The 7-piece? With the one little joint holder?
Yeah.
So I saw that on TikTok and I sent it to Matt and said, I want this for Christmas. He got me the box. He got me the smaller version of this blue bag, which is called the afternoon set. Mm-hmm. And now I have the weekender set. So I literally have the entire Tulip collection and I am very, very happy about it. And I want to tell you something. The box is not only beautiful, it locks. It's smell proof. It has great little containers.
I hadn't opened it since I stocked it with weed, and then I just opened it. I was like, whoa, it really is smell proof.
And let me tell you about these blue bags. These are the most smell proof bags I've ever experienced in my life. I have the smaller version. That's what I had been using up until I got this one. If you open the zipper, if the zipper isn't closed all the way, like right here, that little bit that's open, you will smell weed. I swear to God, this little difference, you won't smell anything. I don't know how they do it. It is just such a great product. Not only is it beautiful, and I really do think
the colorways, it's so modern.
For so long, we've had to have ugly accessories. Everything has been tie-dye and Jerry Garcia, nothing.
Or just black.
Nothing has been pretty or made you feel I keep my stuff in my beautiful closet. I want something that reflects my style. And I'm just so glad that these really, really functional products also reflect our style. You can get your Tulip products at shoptulip.com.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Working Lady Day.
What a train wreck of an episode.